my friends, and welcome to my channel. I am Shawn with Manly Made Minute. If you are hopping over from Men of Monroe on Wednesday, this is a continuation of Men of Monroe since I was not able to be in attendance this evening as I had some work commitments that popped up extremely last minute, and I had to put this together because this was such a great release. And I just didn't want to miss out being able to show you all the samples that I made. And so I have 5 samples. One of them we're going to make for you this evening. But I just wanted to be able to present these to you as this is just an amazing, amazing release. And Walter and I were honored to be asked to feature this on Men of Monroe for you. This package, this bundle went live yesterday, and so you should be able to purchase it. And I'm sure Walter went through everything on Men of Monroe with you, but I will show you the product very quickly, and then I just want to hop into my card. Before I do, I want to explain a little bit about my cards and where I came up with my cards. When you see this release, I just looked at this release as very simple with some elegance to it, with some very, very good messaging behind it. So this is a release that is called Hope. It's released for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. However, the ribbons are not colored, and so you can use them for any awareness month that you want to, essentially. I just did a hop recently for suicide awareness. You can use suicide on this. We've got World AIDS Day coming up December 1st. You can use this for World AIDS Day. All kinds of ribbons out there that you could use this for. I focused on breast cancer as this was the release for this in October, and I just chose very simple, very elegant, not too busy kind of designs, as I wanted to focus on the message behind this stamp set, and that's kind of what spoke to me when I got this. So before I go down to my table, show you my sample card, show you the other cards at the end, so hang on till the end because I'm going to show you my other cards. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow me here on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram at Manly Made Minute, where I do all kinds of hops and posts and different things there as well. So let's head down. I want to show you the product first, my sample card that we'll make here this evening, and then I'll show you the other ones I made at the very, very end. All right, let's just do this. All right, here is the package. Let's start with the paper pad. Pink Paradise paper pad. This paper pad is absolutely amazing. And I got a lot of cut up pieces because I did a lot of samples here for you today. But look at the designs on these papers. Breast cancer awareness, you could use these for essentially anything because the paper isn't necessarily specific as the stamp set is. So there are SVGs available for this on brutusmonroe.com as well that you can use the SVGs to cut these out. I fussy cut everything this evening. But what a great paper pad. All right, now this also has chipboard, and as you can see, I used a good chunk of the chipboard already. I've only got a couple pieces left because it was just so awesome, and I just had to use it. And I use chipboard every now and then, not a ton, but this one I had fun with, and I'll show you what I did to color this and make this pop off my card. Then we have 2 really cool stencils. You have one big ribbon, and I will tell you this is about 5 inches by about 3 inches or so this way. So it's a large stencil that covers your card front, as you can see on my card coming up. Then you have the 6x6 with ribbons all over. And again, using any color you want, any awareness color you want. We're focusing on breast cancer for you this evening with my cards. Then you've got the Hope stamp set. Pardon me. And this one is called Strength. You've got some beautiful, elegant ribbons. We've got a Hope one with a ribbon, a heart. You've got some amazing sentiments. Sending hugs and strength your way. This too shall pass. Your strength shines bright. Your strength is your superpower. In this fight, you are not alone, and keep fighting. You've got this. So again, you can essentially use this for any stamp set or any awareness that you would like. Now we have got a washi sheet, and you can see I've used a card with a washi sheet. We've also got the washi sheet card panels. And so I did want to use one of these because I want to show you the simplicity of just card making with this. This set, for some reason, just spoke to me being simple and let that message pop through versus too much on it. And so you'll see I just did a washi sheet here and added a couple elements to jazz these up. You've got foilable card panels, and they've already got the messages on them. And there are some on here that you could cut this boot and this flower out if you want. You can follow some of this and cut out different sections, as I did on one of my cards that you will see. These are foilable, so I used the magical shattered glass on one of these just to show you. Add some sparkle. If you have ever been involved in any breast cancer awareness event and fundraiser and things, I used to work at a place that did a huge event, and I'm telling you, those survivors show up ready to party, ready to sparkle, ready to shine, lots of bling, lots of pink, lots of shimmery stuff. And so it's fitting that I used the shattered on one just to give it some sparkle. We've also got two new releases. One is called Powerful Pink Glitter Glaze, and the other one is Gina Pink Glitter Glaze. I will tell you, this one really, really pops off your page, and you've got a nice shimmery, subtle pink on this one. Then we've got a new shimmer mist, and this one is called Pink Ribbon. Beautiful pink, and I've used this several times on a couple different cards. We're going to use it in a paint-on situation on this card, just to kind of show you flexibility of these sprays. Okay? All right, I'm going to show you my card, and then we'll get started. So this one's a crazy easy card to make. I used the large stencil, so I've used this stencil, and I used the pattern paper, and I cut it out. So I traced out, cut out sections of these. Then I've got some vellum cut with the leaves from the, I believe this might have been from the Fabulous Florals die set. And I'll have all the stuff listed in the description below with my collab link, since these are Bruce Monroe products that were given to Walter and I for free to feature for you. If you do click on that collab link, I do get a little kickback from it. No extra cost to you whatsoever. And then I used the heart on the stamp set with the shimmer mist to color it, and just a light pink background to anchor this card down with the ribbon. So I just use a light pink to anchor it down, give it some solidness behind there with the macchiato paper behind it, so it's a nice pink and brown. Okay, let's get started and show you how I did this card. We're going to start by stamping out. I pre-stamped out, and how I did this is I just cut out a scratch piece of paper. I stamped my sentiment, and then I stamped I set my heart over it so I could get them centered, and I have them top and bottom so I can do it all in one swoop. And here's how I do it. So I do my sentiment first, and let's grab my raven. And sentiments like these, I just make sure I don't load this up because it's such small print. And so I just do several passes of this. And my raven's probably a little dry as well, but that's all right. All right, I'm happy with that. Now I just shift this down, and I'm going to just find where that is centered. I'm going to get my head in here for one quick second to shift this. And that looks good there. And I'm just going to hold that down in that corner. I think I'm happy with that. And when I say I watercolored it on, I didn't use water. I just used the shimmer mist in a brush and painted this in. You could emboss this if you wanted, if you're more comfortable and not comfortable that you would be able to stay within the lines and so forth. Emboss it. I will tell you, with all this pink and everything, I've used gold embossing, pardon me, the sparkle gilded a lot because it just works so well with all this pink. Right, now I just took very fine paintbrushes. Give myself a little spritz over here in the corner. And then I just went through and I painted this on. I'll zoom in just so you can kind of see. Very thin paintbrush. I tried this with just a normal size that I would normally grab, and the ribbon narrows out in several places, and so to get in those little nooks and crannies, I had to go down to a little thin brush. But again, you could just splatter this and call it a day. I think this would look awesome embossed and colored it in. You could use the aqua pigments. I just wanted to use this brand new shimmer mist because this pink is a really nice deep pink that has some great shimmer to it. And you can see it's not a whole big pattern to color in, so I'm doing this in real time for you just to show you the simplicity of this card. So hopefully you all enjoyed Walter this evening. I, again, apologize. I had a last minute thing pop up on my schedule and had to leave town. But I just could not resist to show you the cards that I had pre-made for this release. And I will tell you, if you have not gotten it, as of the release of this video, I cannot tell you inventory. I can tell you there is some left when I checked on some of the pieces, 4 or 5 of the stencils and things. So I would encourage you, if you are interested, I would get yourself this package. It's very, very reasonably priced for the product. And again, not just stuck to breast cancer awareness on this. Let alone the ribbon. You could probably add the ribbon to like a wedding card and do your own interpretation. You know, this would be a fun set to do a hop with, like a Instagram hop if any of you do hops and things, because you know, whatever interpretation you could use on this for whatever that theme is, these ribbons are definitely universal, which I really love about this stamp set as well. Okay, there is my one piece. I'll zoom back out here for you. Okay. Now, I just took and I die cut this out because I just wanted a nice clean card with some stitching on here. Some little dots on there. We'll get those off. And I'm just taking a nice pale pink. And I'm going to use this 6x6. And I'm not worried about lining it up because it's just going to be softened out. Okay? So I'm just going to tack this down. And I'll hold the rest of it down. And then I just take that pale ink. You can use what's left on your brush too, but I've been using so much pink, I'm going to just brush mine off a little bit because I've got probably 5 different colors of pink on this brush, I think. All right, I just start in the middle. Very light hand on this. And I just work my way out to some just softened out edges. You just need an anchor point. And that's it. That's your background. Nice softened edges with a focal point kind of in that center area. And we're going to set this aside. Now I'm going to take my large stencil with my pattern paper, and I'm going to just go through and grab the ones that I've already cut up and use just different sides to these. So I cut a different one for each section. So you've got 4 sections, so we'll use the 4 different sheets here that I had used. Or a scratch. There was some scratch paper in here too. Oh, I think I used reverses of these, so let's see, there should be one more in there somewhere. All right, we'll use the reverse sides. With a pencil, very lightly, I just took and traced kind of like a quilt or patchwork and trace these out. So that's that section. And now I'll just go over here and I'm going to do this section. Right? Then I'm going to do this section. I'm going to make sure I get some flowers in there. And when you lay this out, you can pattern this out how you want as wherever you lay your patterned paper, right? And my last little piece. And then I just fussy cut these out. This goes relatively quickly so that it's an easy pattern, right? So I will cut these out and I will edit back. All right, I have cut out my pattern paper, laid this out. Now what I did to get started is I laid out my ribbon stencil where I want this placed on my card. And I did it so that I just had a couple of the little tips hanging over. And I use this as my guide for my first 2 pieces. And then I take it off and finish my last 2 pieces just to get me started. And so to do that, I set these all up on dimensionals on the back because I want this to pop up. And then I just, like a puzzle, start placing this in. I did the top and the long side to get me started. And then that way I just had those 2 smaller pieces to lay in on the one side. Hopefully you can kind of see very simple elements, very easy to assemble with some really great impact with your messaging on this. Okay, now I just take these off and I line up the other 2. And if you're like, oh, I'm not very good at lining that kind of stuff up though, I would have just laid that all in. I didn't because I didn't know if I'd be able to get the stencil out without ruining these pieces. But what I do is I look at the stencil going, okay, this tip of this piece comes up almost to the edge. I've got about that much gap. And that's how I laid this out. So then I just do about the gap that it has as the rest of the pieces. Got to turn that just a little bit. Like so. Easy, right? Nice, subtle pink, so it's not going to overpower you, with a nice soft message on here. So there's most of my card panel. Now before we move forward, we're going to put this on my macchiato. Again, I've die cut these out for a nice stitched clean edge. Put a little glue down just to hold my foam tape. And I'm popping this whole panel is going to be popped up with foam foam tape. Okay. Love the dimension off of some of these full panel cards. And then all we need to do once we get this on is we need to put on our die cut with vellum leaves. I almost did gold, but I did not want it to, I wanted to still be able to see the ribbon underneath, so I chose not to do the gold. I put gold on it originally and thought too much, keep this subtle with that message in the middle. Okay, I'm going to just center this, pardon me for a second, as I center. And I did 3. All I want to do is 3. And to do this, I'm following up each edge of my ribbon and one coming up the center. And then I just glued this straight on. Put lots of glue on there so it kind of gets in and around my vellum, and I don't have to fussy with all that vellum. And on this one, I wanted the stems to be coming out from underneath. So I'll just tack that on there, and this is your card. It is such a simple design with a great impact, right? Now imagine this in different pattern papers with different colors for different awareness and things, right? And I will grab my other designs here. So here is my card for the evening, kind of like a patchwork with cutting out that pattern paper. I can use the stencils, I use the stamp set. So I'm using the majority of this whole release in one card with very simple elements to it. Let me show you the rest. I have some really cool cards. I want to start with this one. This one is one of those washi sheets with the pattern on it that I laid out the washi tape. I took my pink, lightly edged it with gray, lightly edged it so you get a little purplish, grayish, pinkish kind of edge. Then I took one of those card panels and I followed this bottom section and cut that out. Lightly edged it with the same 2 inks, pink and a very light gray, and I just took a little pink tissue paper and did a fan fold, spread it out, glued it on the back, and left this as my messaging. So a cure worth fighting for, and added some hot pink sequins to that. So very simple design. This card probably took me 10 minutes total. It took me a little longer, so I had to refold this a couple times to get the fan that I wanted. So in total, probably 5 to 8 minutes to do this card. Again, I wanted to show you some cards that are so simple, easy, especially for those of you that I realize some of our stuff can get really out there, but you can take a stamp set like this and really make some cool stuff. All right, this I am in love with. This is the chipboard, and it says, "In October we wear pink," off of that chipboard. I took and embossed all of these letters with the sparkle gilded embossing powder to give it nice shimmer and sparkle. Then off of the garden trellis die set, I used the leaves in there, and I cut out gold and this hot pink, pinkish purplish leaves. And then I took a hole punch and punched out some circles to put on the centers of them. So I didn't have to do bling, it's paper bling. And then for this one, I used this raspberry rainbow pinkish purple embossing powder, and it did it on the ribbon. Again, I used the 6x6 and I did it all, not subtle this time, I did it pink, and I splattered then the shimmer mist on that background pattern paper, macchiato, and you have a great, this is total is a 6x6 card. This is 5 1/4, and then I just went up from there. So I think this is 5 1/4 or 5 inch by 5 inch card base here. So that's probably my most involved. To lay this out, I did have to take my chipboard, center it over my panel, and then I inlaid each of these letters and glued them down and then peeled this back up so I had it nice and straight and even. Okay. Next one I have, again, extremely simple design. I did a full panel die cut with stitching. Then I just took a pattern piece of paper and I cut out another one, so 2. Then I just moved my stitch die over about halfway so I could keep stitching all around. Reran it through the die cut so this has nice stitching all the way around. Then I just tried to decide, do I want this ribbon or do I want this ribbon coming from this side? Because this was a little more plain. I took the 6x6 light pink die. I embossed this with the sparkle again, and I did the same thing. I took my shimmer mist and I painted that in, fussy cut that out, put my one little sentiment here in the corner. In this fight, you are never alone. And then this would be a full panel card. So you could glue this right to your panel. I think this would look great just popped up on dimensionals on your white card base. But look at how simple and yet impactful that is, right? Okay, one last card. This one was my most detailed on top of this one over here. And this one I used the chipboard. Now if you look at this is a card panel cut down to size. I took a die cut that out. Then I took another die cut to cut out the middle so I could make a frame. Then I took a couple of those sentiments and put it around the frame. Your strength shines bright. Your strength shines bright. Keep fighting you got this, and your strength is your superpower. So I just put it in the 2 corners here and then one on each opposite corner there. Now look at this panel. This has that shattered glass foil panel on it, and it just gives it some pop, right? Then I took the chipboard brassiere bra and the Hope, heavily saturated this with the shimmer mist. I had to do this about 4 or 5 times to get a good color on it. Be careful, it turns into like wet cardboard, so just dry it in spot before you move it or you'll rip it. Then I just took and painted on some of the powerful pink glitter glaze on the Hope and on the brassiere. And there you have it. That is my set of 5 cards. I did all breast cancer focused for you this evening, and I hope you like these cards. I tried to do them as simple as I could to make them transferable to you in this package of product to show you can do very simple but yet very powerful cards without going too crazy on your layers, your colors, and different things, right? So very simple. I will tell you, these ones here took me off camera, not doing this on camera. These probably took me 10 to 15 minutes each. This was about 5. This was probably 10 to 15. This was probably 8 minutes as well. So easy designs for you. Hopefully this gave you some ideas for this new release. I really hope you like it. I'll have the links down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching Brutus Monroe this evening and watching Walter at the helm, all by him lonesome. Thank you for hopping over here and checking out my cards for this very special release. We were very excited to be honored and asked to release this for you this evening on Brutus Monroe, and I'm so happy you joined me over here. Until next time, I'll see you then.